Alright, you guys, 513 Cats came up to me or just YouTube messaged me, and he was saying he'd like to see more videos on saxophone techniques such as the gliss and other techniques. He mentioned something about me dressing up the notes or whatever and making certain things certain ways when you play the instrument, and I'm going to answer his question. First off, the gliss. We're gonna start with the gliss today, you guys. The gliss is pretty much a simple thing. You can hear the gliss properly played in a saxophone popular song called Baker Street. Um, and the gliss is just basically a run through of notes right before you hit the actual note that you're trying to hit. That's basically in layman terms what it is. And here's how it sounds. No neck strap, but that's okay. My principal note was A. So A. And then I just ran through a couple of notes, a good amount of notes, maybe 4 or 5 different notes before I hit that A. It doesn't really matter how many notes well, it does matter how many notes you hit before you hit this A, but you want to have maybe 4 or 5 notes depending on what you're playing. Yeah, you might want to have like 4 or 5 notes before you hit the actual main note that you're trying to hit for a dramatic effect. So basically, you're building up to the note, and once you get to the note, you kind of just make it solid. So, like so. It's that simple. You could do it. You could do it. Say for instance, depending on what key you're in, you could do it in that key. And this might be a new concept for some of you guys, but if you are playing, for instance, in the key of G, or in the key of concert B flat, G for alto, you would start on G and you would go all the way up to G and back down in that key. One sharp, which is F sharp, right? So if you're glissing, if you're glissing and you're trying to gliss up in the key of B flat, if you go past the F, make it sharp. That's for alto. Now, if you're in key of B flat like the soprano is, and you go past which is the key of C, concert B flat is the key of C for soprano. All the notes are natural, right? So you don't really have to worry about sharps and flats in your gliss because you're not glissing in that key, if that makes sense. Or you're not glissing in a key that has sharps or flats, if that makes sense. So basically, gliss in the key that you're playing in. That's the basic concept. Now, if you want to be fancy, you gliss. Yeah, if you want to be fancy, you just gliss in. Where this piece of paper came from? Got a piece of paper in here, you guys. That's a reed piece of paper. But if you want to be fancy, you want to gliss just randomly, you can chromatically gliss. And basically find as many half a steps and whole steps between the note that you're trying to get to and ascend up to it depending on it. And you can ascend down. This can go either way. You can add dynamics. You can have fun with this. So basically, you see, you can go from forte to piano and put a vibrato on there. It's all about how you feel at that moment in time. You can bend, which I'll show you guys next in another tutorial how to do. But you can go. And that really is all of the principles put together. But generally, what you're doing is a gliss. So people are going to be like, oh, that's a nice gliss. Well, actually, that was a bend, a vibrato, and a chromatic gliss down. But all they really worry about is the gliss because that's what is the general gist of what they hear. They don't hear the bend. They just know that the principal thing that you're doing is going down or going up, depending on how you're glissing. So let's review. We can gliss up or down, right? Make sure we can gliss with chromatics. We can gliss with any other different techniques. Make sure that we gliss in the key signature. If you want to be super fancy, we can gliss outside the key signature with the chromatics. But you gotta make sure that depending on what situation you're in, your gliss matches the situation. You know, you can't just go randomly glissing, and sometimes it won't make musical sense depending on what you're trying to do. So just watch how you use it to be the most effective you can be. Now I can't tell you you're doing this gliss wrong, and I can't tell you that what you're doing is the right way or wrong way. You know, as long as you're glissing, you can't really say it's wrong. Even if you go, I mean, could it have been better? Maybe, yes. But it depends on how you're trying to reach your audience, reach your people. So, I guess I'll play it in context. Uh, let's see. I can play Baker Street, basically, and it'll show you. But I'm gonna play it in the alto key on the soprano because I never learned it. But this is just a basic. So. Basically, I actually have a stuck pad right here, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. But that's when my F sharp came out really weird. But that's basic concept. So you just want to use it for effect, and hey, tell me what you come up with. And this came from let me see if I can remember his name. 413 Cats on YouTube. So thanks for the great question. Thanks, and I responded. Yeah, so comment, rate, subscribe, ask more questions because these are wonderful questions. And get back with me, and I'll get back with you. All right, have a nice day. Hope this helps.